I would like to demonstrate the sheet metal functionality of Autodesk Fusion 360 to make this tool tray. It consists of three bodies, the main body and a divider. The handle is not a sheet metal piece, so I will not be making that, just a piece of pipe. Let's get started. Switch my sheet metal environment. I've already pre-configured my sheet metal style. It's a piece of 16 gauge, which has a very narrow gap for a linear weld. So I'll go ahead and make my sketch on the XZ plane. I'll do a 2-point rectangle. I'm a fan of sketching off the origin so I can see the constraints work, sketch constraints. My total tool tray is 26 long, so I'll make this 13 and 8 wide, and I have my rectangle. Now I need to center this edge up on the origin. A coincident constraint from the origin to the midpoint. Now you can hold down the shift key and find the midpoint very quickly. Very nice tool. Now if you have a closed profile and use the flange tool, you get a face. So there's my 16 gauge face. Now let's go ahead and make the flanges. I need 3 of them, so I select 3 edges and I'm going to drag them up 4 3/4. You can also type it in if you want. Now I need that end section. I actually need a face up here hooked to a face. There is no tool for this, but the flange tool works very nicely for it. You can pick either the inside or outside edge. It's up to you. I'm going to drag it out to 6 inches. That's how high it is. You can type the number in if you want. And then basically I'm going to drag it around to 0 degrees. That will merge it into a face. Really cool. Now I need to get my profile on the end. So I'll do a sketch on this surface and project 2 points for my sketch. I need also this edge, so I'm ready to go. I'm going to sketch from this point, hold down my left button to make a curve, and then down to this point. Add a couple constraints. I missed a tangent constraint right here, and also want to be tangent to the top. Okay, so now I'm ready to go ahead and dimension that radius to make it fully constrained. Come on. Here we go. 1.5. My center is not constrained over top of the midpoint, so I'll do a vertical between the center and the midpoint. I am fully constrained. Now I do an extrude and pick 2 profiles. I want to go all the way through, and I'm going to flip it. Be sure I'm going the right way and say OK. There you go. Now this is one body. Let's just do an unfold just to show you. Let's see, create a flat pattern and say OK, and there's my flat pattern for half of it. Let's go ahead and finish. Now I'm going to move to my modeling environment to mirror this. This is a cool function you can do with sheet metal. You can mirror. I will be mirrored by bodies, so I pick this body. The mirror plane will be the YZ plane, and I now have 2 bodies, as you can see. I want to join them together. I'll use the combine tool in the modeling environment, pick on the target body and the other body, and say OK. Now I have one body. And please note that the flat pattern is now out of date. I can update it, and you now have a different flat pattern. So it's really a cool, you can mirror and still maintain the sheet metal functionality. Let's do the divider. I'll make a sketch on the bottom surface. Let me pick on that. Make a new sketch. Where is my sketch? Come on now. There we go. Now I want to be very careful and draw me a line from the inside face of the sheet metal to the other side on the midpoint. Okay, so now I'm going to make a flange, or actually a face. So I pick my sheet metal tool, go back to sheet metal, pick on my flange, which is going to be a contour flange. I can click on this edge and make it pick up that distance automatically, so I don't have to measure that odd dimension. Say OK. Now I've got a problem down the corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a flange on that corner. I'm going to drag it out 3/4 of an inch. You can type that in also. Now notice you have the function here. You can do all sorts of different things with the ends, the edges. You can do a symmetrical drag like that. I don't want that. I want a two-sided, so I'm going to drag just the bottom one up 3/4 of an inch. Excuse me, a half inch. You can type that in, but I drug it up. Now I want to override to get rid of that minimum remnant. So I just change my override down here and make my minimum remnant half inch to get rid of that overlap, and say OK, and gets that corner free for me. I'm going to just repeat this so you can see it on the other side. Flange, pick the edge, drag out 3/4, change to offset, one side, drag it up half inch, and then override my bend rule, and it should be there. I just pick it from the list, half inch, and say OK. So there you go. Your sheet metal box tool tray with a divider very quickly. Now remember, the flat pattern is for the box. If you need a flat pattern for the interior divider, you simply erase one and create the other. Thank you.